sure you will have fun recognizing them from among your friends and acquaintances.
The hero.
Men like struggling, but then so do some women. The male version goes something like this. If I bust a gut and hurtle around trying hard, people will see me as a good man, and they will treat me with respect. Whether I get results or not matters little as long as I'm seen to be making a valiant effort. To make sure everyone acknowledges my heroism, I will create an entire theatre of frantic action, hectic schedules, meetings of earth-shattering importance, long hours, and constant pressure. Of course, this pantomime will make me a bit tense, but that is all part of the act, for the tension will be seen by others as my taking responsibility, and they will love and respect me for that, won't they? If the truth be known, the answer is no. In fact, anyone with any perception will see this male is a complete idiot. His weakness, namely, a lack of personal acceptance, stands out a mile. He has cast his fate to sacrifice, in the hope of winning affection or acknowledgement. His frantic actions only serve to underline that he is out of control and does not really have a clue about what he is doing. Another common struggler is the terrorist type. This fellow, because he is uncomfortable with himself, finds that he is unable to deal with society. Either he was born disadvantaged, or he has never been accepted, or he bears a grudge of some kind. Because of this, he has to operate outside of society, and he finds it hard to accept anyone's help. He struggles through 101 projects that never quite come off. And even if he makes a success of a relationship or a project, it will seem to him a hollow victory. For what he wants is acceptance, not success, so he will usually self-destruct his successes and move on to struggling at something else. If the terrorist ever finds himself within the mainstream, for example, if he gets a job in a corporation, he will find fault with that situation, sneer at it and attempt to change or destroy it. Usually his actions will threaten those around him, and sooner or later he'll be tossed out. Because the terrorist has to fight the system rather than use it, he never gets what he wants. No one supports him. If he does find someone who loves and accepts him, he disregards that and focuses instead on all those aspects of non-recognition that are a part of his life. The third type of struggler is the professional wimp. This person is so weak and lacking in his ability to command life, he allows everyone to tow him around by the nose. It makes him angry, and he will protest his rights from a position that he feels is logically just. Yet his struggle results from weak energy, and he gets nowhere, and no one cares. There is a variation on this theme, the spiritual wimp. This character has a huge ego and feels that God dropped him off on earth so that he could sit around being special. He is usually so holy that he cannot soil his hands with life. He expects people to treat him like a god and honor him anyway. Usually he struggles like crazy, for people find it hard to accept his lifestyle, and his failure threatens them. One of the common female archetypes,
The goddess.
is similar to the male. She plays a game called Please Accept Me, for I am great. I'm really a goddess, and I'm as strong, if not stronger, than any male. To act out her pantomime, she dresses up in male clothes, drives fast cars, gets super aggressive to make up for her lack of confidence, and she, too, hurtles out and plays the achiever's game of her male counterpart. In truth, being a goddess is hard work, for you constantly have to sustain a celestial pose. Usually others will not see you as a goddess, and so you expend energy in the hope of convincing them. By trying to emulate the male, what the female is actually saying is, I know I am weaker. This is, of course, not true, for most women are spiritually stronger than males, if only they would realize it. Another female character has a play called Wilting Wallflower. It goes like this. I'm just a helpless little person. I am weak and don't understand life. I can't add figures or mend a fuse. My emotions are all over the parking lot. Please save me. Please look after me. That way I can sit someplace and do nothing much. This works to a certain extent, for sooner or later the lifesaver type shows up to assist her. The problem is that the lifesaver, be they male or another female, will only save the wallflower once or twice. Then they move on, for there's nothing in it for them. As the wilting wallflower plays out her act, it gets harder and harder for her to feel any self-worth. Sooner or later, that lack of self-worth pulls her to people that would delight in manipulating her. Her spiral of struggle is self-perpetuating, for in order for her to get the attention she craves, she has to create more and more dramatic scenarios of helplessness. Eventually, she drifts into playing victim. You all know the type. When you meet her, she pours out a litany of disasters. There's nothing you can do for her, for she's not asking for help. She just wants you to commiserate. Quite often, you will want to punch her on the nose just to keep her happy. What do all these characters have in common? First of all, they're all pretty stupid. They're playing out the facets of their personalities which are not truth. Yet, with just a small adjustment in attitude, they could move from struggle into flow. You have to work hard at creating struggle, whereas flow is a natural condition that comes from accepting yourself and watching your life so that it is reasonably balanced most of the time. Chapter 2. Identifying Struggle. Because struggle is a programmed response and natural to many, we quite often find ourselves struggling without realizing that we are doing so. The first step in reducing struggle in your life is to identify it. If you've read my book Affirmations, you may remember I suggested that you take time to go into every aspect of your life and evaluate what you get out of it in relation to what you put in. I ask you to plug in the struggleometer, a mythical device created by your mind to gauge the levels of struggle you exert. The main areas you review are 1. Your physical body, 2. Your emotional balance, 3. Your relationships, 4. Your physical living circumstances, 5. Your finances, 6. Your attitude to the world around you, 7. Your ability to handle conflict, 8. Your ability to handle stress, 9. Your psychological state, 10. Your spiritual balance. 1. Your physical body. If your body is weak, it is either a genetic problem or an imbalance created by you. If your weakness is genetic, you can change your attitude from poor me to one of strength by realizing that your weakness is a gift. It allows you to express power in spite of your condition. It is like having 1 or 2 oarsmen in your boat and no oar for them. So what? The boat can make it anyway. A bit slower perhaps, but it will get there, and the extra time it takes will allow you to enjoy the journey more fully. If your weakness is not genetic, fix it, or at least express the most energy that you can towards healing your body so that it does not dominate your life. As you put in real effort in healing your body, the rise in energy that comes from that inspires you to go further. You'll become happier and more balanced. 2. Your emotional balance. Emotional turmoil is another programmed response. As children, we're taught to cry out to get what we want, and sometimes we carry that over into life. If I create enough fuss, will you love me? Your reaction to an emotional situation is just your opinion. It is not necessarily truth. In any given situation, you can react dispassionately or otherwise as you wish. Train yourself to be more forgiving of yourself, more detached, and you will see your life in an infinite sense, not in a finite sense. Everything becomes a lesson, a way of strengthening you. Gauge the level of your emotional rage. Everyone has it. If it comes up within you, do something positive to release it at once. Communication usually works. Also, avoid conflict. Remember, only the fool stands and fights. The sage walks away. It is pointless to get your knickers in a twist if a certain person fails to react the way you want. It's best to avoid people and situations that you know drive you crazy. Remember to vote with your feet. If a situation is untenable or unchangeable, walk away. 3. Your relationships. Through relationships, we learn about ourselves because people around us reflect back to us what we are. That is why many relationships are hard. If your relationship causes you to struggle, ask yourself why. What opinion do you hold about the relationship or yourself that causes it not to go the way you want? What are you trying to push against? What is your level of giving and receiving? Are you allowing yourself to be ripped off? And if you are, is that okay, or do you want to change that? 4. Your living circumstances. Are your circumstances designed to nurture you? Do they support you, or are you at the mercy of circumstances? If so, what are you going to do about it? What is the level of struggle here? For example, does the home you live in take so much effort to maintain that you get out of it less than you put in?